Africans mistreating other Africans. How do you feel about that? Because they are foreigners, they call them foreigners. And here we're talking about Africans from different African countries going to a certain African country and being treated as foreigners and mistreated. How do you feel about that?
No, I feel so bad. That lack of humanity. We're born equal before God, and we must treat each other equally, regardless of where they're coming from.
I'm talking here about the hypocrisy of most Africans. And excuse me to put it that way, because the straight language is the language we understand. With Africans, I've got to realize with time, you don't go left, right, center. You go straight to the point.
Okay.
We Africans are mostly hypocritical. Okay?
Why that?
Because we complain about the West. We talk about other people. We're saying Europe is evil. Americans are evil. They come mistreat us. They colonized us. They trying to profit from us. But in the meantime, we don't love each other.
True.
We don't stand with one another.
True.
The fact is, when a foreign guy from a different country, a neighboring country, comes to your country and is doing good, jealousy is born. Why is he here? How come he's making money? He must be involved in some dodgy stuff. In some places, they go to the extent of stealing from that person. I know a country, I will refrain from saying the name, where they will go and break the shop. Let's say the guy he was selling stuff like retailers, shops, selling bread, selling various type of things. And they go and break his shop and steal everything, saying, you are the reason why we don't have jobs. You are the reason why we're suffering. That I don't understand. How do you explain that? Is that a white man doing that to a black person?
Never.
Okay. How do you explain this? Then we are the first people to cry racism when you go to Europe, racism when you go to the United States. In the meantime, in our own continent, we mistreat each other like bad.
I can say African, we are most racist.
We are the most racist
Yes,
people.
because why am I saying that? They're the racists who don't hate other race, but they hate themselves.
Okay.
You will see when there's like a xenophobic attack outbreak whenever, they won't attack other race. It's only African.
So Africans don't attack other people from different races.
Yes.
They're just evil with African. Fellow Africans.
Fellow African.
Okay. We call ourselves brothers. In every African country you go to, you'll see people calling each other brother, right?
Yes.
Oh, brother, how are you, brother? How are you, brother? But if I come from, let's say, Niger, and I want to go marry a woman from Tanzania, the first thing she will be told by her family is, why do you want to marry this guy? Isn't there somebody good enough for you here in Tanzania? And this is not specific to Tanzania. It could be, the same thing in Uganda, same thing in Kenya, Nigeria, or any other African country. When you go to the neighboring African country and you take a taxi, the price is never the same as the locals as soon as they hear your accent. So as soon as you are identified as a foreigner, a non-local, the price goes up.
Africans are bad naturally.
Africans are bad naturally.
Yeah, so that's why we need civic education, whereby people try to change their mindset. So in the spirit of humanity, compassion, love, and being honest. Because being honest is not given to anybody.
I agree with you in certain areas, but saying Africans are naturally evil, it's quite a big sentence to say.
I can explain it.
Please explain.
Okay. Africa continent is not going ahead. Mm-hmm. You see the country which got many resources, but people are poor. Because the leader, they're putting money in their pockets.
So you say Africa is not moving forward because Africans are mostly evil.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with Europe and America.
Yeah.
If it has something to do with Europe and America, then that's the smallest part of the problem.
Because European people, even though we were colonized by them, but they can't prevent you to build a house or a hospital.
They cannot
build roads.
They cannot prevent you from building your house or your hospital.
Or road for your community.
Or the road for your community. So Africans, in fact, if I understand you, you're saying are selfish.
Are selfish.
They don't love Africans.
Yes.
They just love themselves. The bottom line is justice is never equal in Africa for locals and foreign Africans.
Yes.
We're just being honest.
Yes.
Okay? If you have an issue with a local guy from a different country, you're most likely going to be guilty of something you may have not done.
Yes.
That's the reality of it. And People even in the street will remind you that you don't belong there. And this is not applied to all Africans, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. It means it's a real problem we need to sit down and talk about. Okay? We cannot just sit down and talk about what America has done, what the Clintons have done, what Europe has done, how we have been colonized and separated. I just think that it's very important, or is equally important, that we talk about the real issues. Remember, before 1984, there was no country the way you see it today. There was no Egypt like that. There was no Somalia like that. There was no Congo like that. There was no Ghana or any other country the way you see it today. It's not the way it was. Okay, people existed. Yes, those civilizations were here, but not the way you see it. There was no borderline saying this is Togo, this is Benin. It was never like that. The Europeans came and they separated us with imaginary borders. Just remember that. We were cousins, we were friends, we were family. And I think the first step is to remember where we come from.